Today we're going to be looking at a new survival data pack called Quantic Tech. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Now as you can see, this pack adds some very cool portal entanglements of different types, including see-through portals. But before we get too wrapped up in that, we need to figure out how we can get these portals. Now your first step will be to get a crafting table, place that down, place another crafting table inside, and 3 oak slabs on each side, and you'll get an advanced crafter. You can just set this down right there and open it up, and you have all these new items to mess around with. The main items behind this pack are all the different dust types, including Quantic, Coal, Diamond, Aetherite, and Electron. To get Quantic, you're just going to want to hammer down some ender pearls. Depending on the hammer you use, you'll get a different amount of dust and will cost a different amount of ender pearls. To get coal, same thing but with just coal. Diamond, obviously. Aetherite comes from emeralds to give them more of a use and can only be created using the diamond or durosteel hammer, which we'll look at in a second. Electron is a bit different. There are different ways to get them: melons, poisonous potatoes. You can get using electron ore, which you can get from mining deep slate gold ore. You can smelt it, you can literally use electrolysis, and you can also just straight up hammer to get electron dust. The hammers all have quite simple recipes. Any wood type, obviously, sticks, irons, iron, and durosteel. You can't get durosteel plates yet because we have to look at the refinery. Now the refinery is right here. It just takes an iron hammer, some diamond dust, and some iron coal. It's quite an easy recipe that can be made mid-game. Now that we have the refinery here, we just set it down, and inside there's a whole host of items, including now durosteel. You take lava, diamond dust, coal dust, and iron, and you get 4 durosteel. And durosteel will be used for a lot of the different items in this pack, including the quantum workbench, which takes durosteel blocks and electron blocks, and this will be the last of the 3 crafters. Now the quantum workbench can only really be acquired later in the game, but allows you access to finally the Entanglers, which will let you make the portals. Now the Entanglers are quite simple to craft. They just take some durosteel and a durosteel canister of quantic energy, which we'll go to in a second. And then when we're holding these, we'll have 1,000 and 6,000 Roths. And you can right click to create the entanglement, and then often right click to destabilize it. Now, if we use the entangler right here, just slight hum, and now it is linked. You can always put it in the offhand, and click again, and now it's unlinked. So we first link it, and then let's try to link it here. You see, this is a 3x3, but this is a 1x2, so it won't work. Try linking here. Now the directions of these are mismatched. Let's try linking on the ground. This has no blocks to surround it, so it won't work. However, right here, it does work. You can just pass through the entangled portal. You can even throw items through. Anything can travel through. It'll maintain its motion. However, that's only the most simple type of entangler. If we go back to the quantum workbench, there's 2 other types: the Cherenkov free quantum entangler, the light permeating. To make these, you'll need the scrubber here, which you can craft as such, or you'll need the light permeator, which you can craft as such here. Now, the Cherenkov scrubber will make it so, if I click right here, as earlier in the video, there's no visible outline of the portal. You can use this for traps or just clean your portals in general. However, the light permeating quantum entangler will make it so you can see through the portal in its entirety. Now this only works for the closest player, but otherwise it can be quite cool. Now each of these costs more Roths due to their add-ons. And why don't we examine what Roths are? Roths are the measurement of energy in this system. They are stored in durasteel canisters and in energy items. Here you just have an empty one. But then if we have a Quantic, fill it with Quantic dust, it'll have 1,000 Roths of Quantic energy. If let's say our Entangler is empty of energy and can't work, we place in our offhand, hold the Quantic durasteel canister, and shift. Now the canister is empty now, but now you have 1,000 Roths of energy in the Quantum Entangler. There are two other items that pertain to the Entanglers, and that is the Quantum Viewport, which is crafted just like this, and the Field Destabilizer, crafted like this. Now, these allow you to see any portal, the Quantum Viewport, you click. Now every portal is highlighted, even the invisible ones. And they allow you to destabilize them, breaking their connection. So the earlier invisible one right here can now be broken. Lastly, the portals that you can see through can be quite intensive for the CPU. So in order to alleviate this, if it is overworking your world, you can always set this power coefficient constant to a higher number than 4. 4 is the default, so you can always set it higher than that, or lower if you feel like your computer can handle more. The higher the power coefficient, the more efficient the light portals will be. Now we have the weapons. The Quantic Axe, crafted with some Quantic Infused Durasteel, not only is invulnerable, making sure it will never lose damage, but when clicked will rewind time 1 second for all enemies. This can make it very hard for enemies to hurt you. The Aetherite Sword, crafted with some Aetherite Infused Durasteel and iron rods and more Aetherite items, has 3 abilities. It's invulnerable as well, and when an enemy is hit, they'll be momentarily slowed and outlined so you can see them even through walls. Its last ability allows you to become completely invulnerable for 10 seconds when right-clicked. This is very useful for taking out swarms or for getting out of a pinch, as it will completely heal you as well. Once the effect leaves, your armor will be returned to you. Now this pack introduces 2 custom sets of armor, both requiring Roths to use. The first set is the Quantic armor, where you have to have the full suit on to use its ability, which is when you look down and shift, you'll go into a phasing mode, and you can shift and move around or whatever, but when you look down and shift again, you will come out of said phasing mode. This can be used to flank enemies and get away from a tough position. And lastly, there is the Aetherite armor, which costs a lot less Roths. That is because you move a lot slower when using. So if I go out here and click shift while looking down, I can now fly. That's right, creative flight in survival. You can go up, you can go down, no barrier blocks. Tower above all your enemies, like the god you are. That's about it for today, folks. Thank you for watching. Sorry if I was a bit rushed with the recipes. They are all easily visible in game, so I don't think you'll have any trouble there. All the downloads are in the description for 1.17, 1.18, and 1.19 for you to enjoy. So go, have fun, and as always, keep coding.